the next performer is a really nice person, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think he's too nice, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a Canadian.
Whoa.
He's a Canadian. I will be enthusiastic. He's a Canadian who doesn't think.
Okay.
He's a Canadian who doesn't think that hockey was given to us by God. He doesn't think that, okay? That's his position. Welcome to this stage, Josh Wilson.
Hi. How are you? I'm fine, thanks. How are you? Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. I'm so excited to be here to perform my show, Masks for You, which, given these current circumstances, my show was created before the pandemic, and correlation does not imply causation. So I'm going to do a little solo improv show for all of you wonderful people here tonight. Everything I'm going to do right now is made up on the spot. None of it is prepared. So that's on me. So it's going to be completely improvised, completely made up, none of it rehearsed or practiced before. Yeah, I think that's the preamble, mostly. Now let me explain what my show is. So Masks is a show that kind of came to me as an idea from something I read in my theater textbook when I was in university. So it's a very pretentious concept. The concept being, everywhere we go in life, this is so nail on the head now, everywhere we go in life, we wear masks. Be like, well, yeah, again, before. Everywhere we go in life, we wear masks. You act differently to the different people in your life, right? You act differently to your mother than maybe even your father, or sister, colleague, loved one, lover. You act differently. You put on a different mask. You become a different character. But theater, the stage, the place where we find ourselves now, there are no masks. The characters are who they are. So the stage is the only place where you can find truth. Wow. And that's my show, everyone! Didn't I say it was going to be pretentious? So my goal tonight is to hopefully discover a little bit of truth on the stage. To do that, though, I need a universal truth from all of you. What that means is it could be something grandiose and big, like, gravity is a constant, E equals MC square, love conquers all. Or it could be something really small, like vanilla is better than chocolate, waffles are better than pancakes, etc. So I need someone's universal truth from the audience.
Ladies like flowers.
Ladies like flowers. Side note, men also like flowers. Thank you so much. Ladies like flowers, the universal truth, ladies like flowers. This is Masks. Life's hard most days. You know, I was going to the store for apricots. Oh. I was going to the store for apricots because I wanted to make a jam. I like apricot jam. When I was a child, my mother taught me how to make jams, and apricot jam was the first jam we made. And I remember tasting that jam. I remember how sweet it was. And at the time, I didn't like apricots as a fruit. I still don't, really. But I like apricot jam. Looking back, maybe it's the memory of making the jam. But I digress. I was in the shop looking for apricots, and it's out of season. But I wanted jam. So I went to the store. I'm gonna keep singing. So I went to the store, and wouldn't you know, twice as expensive. Twice as expensive for a fruit out of season. Looking back, it makes sense. It's out of season. But at the time, I didn't want to pay double. So what do? You steal them. It's just that simple. I grabbed the bag, I put a bunch of apricots in, and you know they have these self-checkouts now? Where you just put the things on the scale and you put the numbers in? Well, I just say there were a bunch of radishes. Radishes were in season. They're always in season. Do you ever notice that? There's always radishes. I see some of you nodding. It's good. It's good. So I went to the self-checkout and I put my bag of radishes on the counter and I typed in the button numbers for radishes. I guess I mistyped. Because whoop, whoop, it's like an alarm. Whoop, whoop, an attendant will be with you shortly. I ran! Well, as fast as I could. I walked. No one stopped me. And then I realized how sweet stealing is. When we got married, it was such an ordeal. Everything had to be perfect. And I don't care. It sounds bad. It sounds bad to say you don't care about your wedding, but I didn't care for all the accoutrements, you know? All the little things. I didn't care about those. I just cared about getting married to the woman I loved. Romantic, I know. Plus, it's great to say, I don't care about the wedding. You have to say, but because I love the woman too much. Makes you look better. So it was a disaster, right? My soon-to-be wife now, had planned out this whole spread. There were binders full of little pieces of fabric and pictures of other weddings, and also like Athens, like columns and things. And a whole other binder was just flowers, and one was strictly napkins. That was it, a binder of napkins. Anyway, we had this table set up with thousands, it felt like thousands of binders, all organized, where people were sitting, what they were going to eat, what the events and the party would be, this grandiose ball to celebrate our love. But the best laid plans of mice and men, am I right? The best laid plans of mice and men often go awry, is the full saying. Am I right? Thank you. So it's the wedding day. And I'm getting dressed with my groomsmen, and there's a banging at the door. Boom, boom, boom. And I wasn't about to deal with it. It's my wedding. That's the groomsman. That's my best man's job, right? I don't have to do anything at my wedding. I just have to be. And that's what I thought. Apparently there's a lot to do at a wedding. So one of my groomsmen went over the door, opened it up, and there was the maid of honor. And she was panicking. She had this look on her face, ghostly white, pupils dilated, like she had seen her own mother's death. And she's yelling for me. Benjamin! 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 You gotta get out here! You gotta solve the problem! Benjamin! 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 Yes, Mary? How can I help? Everything has gone wrong! More specific? I'm starting to see, as I look back, the error of my ways. The flowers aren't here! The food's not here! Nothing has come! We got the date wrong, Benjamin! What? The date is wrong! You mixed up the month and the day when you were signing for things! I was trying to be fancy with the European style. Put the months and the dates the other way. So it wasn't going well. And I had to think on my feet. And I came up with nothing. I said, okay, Mary, we'll be right with you. And I closed the door. I was in full-on panic mode. I had no idea what to do. I turned to my groomsmen, they looked just... And I just imagined my wife to be, my bride, and what she looked like in her room. So I had to come up with a plan. There was a quinceanera in the next room. They would have had food. And those families are fairly large. Maybe they wouldn't notice a few extra people going in. In hindsight, looking back, this was a bad idea. But I suggested. I turned to my groomsmen and I said, let's crash the quinceanera. It went like this. What? Let's crash the quinceanera. I opened the door. Mary was still there. I told her the plan. Mary, we're going to crash the quinceanera. What? Just trust me. I have a plan. Then I closed the door again. And I finished putting on my bow tie. And I gestured to my groomsmen, and we walked out the door. Mary was still there. We had to push her out of the way. I don't know when she left, but it was like she was frozen. Left to deal with this quinceanera. Great! do another one. I am terrified of heights. Absolutely terrified. Even standing on a stepladder. One step up makes me feel vertigo. I want to throw up when I stand on top of something. Ha! It's not fun. Life gets difficult when you are afraid of a simple thing such as going up the steps. Now, you may ask, how do you survive life without going up steps? To which I answer, I do go up steps. I just do not enjoy walking up steps. Down steps is 100 times worse. Ha! Ha! I don't know how I got this fear. I do remember my younger brother pushing me down a set of stairs once. Maybe that was it. My psychologist has said that's probably it. But I don't know. It seems like if you have an answer for something, you should be able to fix the problem. But here I am, terrified of heights, high places, going up. Oddly enough, I'm not afraid of lifts. I think it's because they're enclosed. And you don't really, nowadays, in some of the modern ones, and the older ones, they still move around a lot, but in the newer ones, you don't really feel them move. And that's nice. That's nice. Stairs are not nice. You know how many people die per year falling downstairs? Well, just guess how many.
1 million.
Millions, you're right! 1 million or more probably die from falling down the stairs every year! It's not safe! They put a little railing thing that you're gonna hold on to, but who does that? I never see anyone using that. They're so confident. So I'm terrified of heights. Here I am, about to try bungee jumping. It's not fun. It's very scary, and I do not know how I was conned or tricked or swindled into doing this. It is so far down, and the only thing that will keep me alive is this small piece of string between my legs! Do you know how many people die from bungee jumping a year?
1 million.
At least 1 million people! Too much! This is way worse than any set of stairs. They give you railings, but what are they for? No one holds onto the railings when they jump. The terrifying thing is you're supposed to cross your arms. You're supposed to cross your arms. Trust me, you're supposed to cross your arms. And as you kind of fall down to like protect yourself. You know what you look like when you cross your arms? One of those cartoon dead bodies! I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna jump. But the problem is, I'm so scared, I can't move. So this is where I die. Not from jumping, but from being frozen in fear. Whew. It has been 6 hours. And my hands have cramped to this position where I think they will never, ever let go of these bars. I'm sure if I were somehow to be pried off or cut away from them, you would see my fingerprints indented into the metal. I am not jumping. I'm not moving. I live here now. This is my life. I am too afraid of heights. I don't know what to tell you, officer. You have all the facts. You've laid them out on this table real pretty nice-like. Yes, I was at the bank. Yes, I had a gun. But what red-blooded American doesn't keep a gun with them when they go to the bank? You've got a gun. Do you go to banks? Just saying. And maybe I pulled out the gun. Maybe I might have pointed it at one of the tellers. Maybe. It's very circumstantial. I know you played the video, but I could have been any woman. Look, I don't know what to tell you. I know you want me to tell you why I did it, because you've seen the how. When you get to my age, there's not a lot of things that make you feel alive anymore. You know, life kind of stops having meaning. You just wake up very early in the morning. You eat, you do the things you gotta do, you call some people, and you go to sleep after watching TV for 6 hours. There's not a lot to life anymore. Not for me. My family, they live in a different country. They all moved out. Left me here alone. So if you want to know why I did it, well, I guess I wanted to feel alive. When I was young, I made apricot jam with my mother. And it was sweet, and I didn't like apricots at the time, but I liked the jam. I don't like life right now, but I like the thrill of stealing. So if you have to lock me up with all these criminals, bad people who've done horrible things, I guess you gotta. But is it really a crime for an old lady to want to have one last chance at life? Who's the real villain here? I'm 72. You're what, 27? Numbers. That's why, officer. That's why I did it. I just want life to be sweet again. Like when I was young and I made apricot jam with my mother. So it was my quinceanera. And it did not go well. My father had planned this whole party for me. It was beautiful. I had bought this beautiful blue dress. It had all these little studs on it, bright, shiny, and when the light hit it, it sparkled like a rainbow. And I was so excited. My family, all my friends, they were there.
And about halfway through the party, when my father was giving a speech about how much he loved me and how proud he was, and excited to see the woman I was going to grow up into, a bunch of men in suits came inside and tried to blend into the party. And you could see them whispering to each other and nodding and smiling. And I didn't understand. And one of my cousins went over and spoke to them. And then they shook hands, and he went back to sit to listen to my father's speech, and they stayed. A little while later, another cousin went, they shook hands again, and they stayed. Finally, after my father finished his speech, he went over, he shook hands, and they stayed. It was very strange for me to see these grown men in their suits, as if they were at some sort of wedding. And not long after, more people started coming in who I did not know. And I do not think they were related to me. And each time, one of the men of my family would go over and shake hands. And then they would all stay. Soon all the food was gone. Drinks were gone. And my quinceañera was full of people I did not know, strangers. And I don't think that was the thing that upset me the most. I think the thing that upset me the most was it wasn't about me anymore. It became about two different people who I did not know. And no longer was it my dad telling me how proud he was and how it feels like it's happening right now. But it wasn't about my father, my family, celebrating me and my step into womanhood. It became about a bunch of loud white people shouting and jostling and dancing. And I felt pushed to the side. And I was standing in the shadows, both figuratively and literally. And I remember looking down at my dress and how the light would catch it and the rainbows. It was not shining then. And I felt the little bit that my shine inside had grown dim.
The fire department came. And the police. And the paramedics. Basically every emergency service came to rescue me. It's a funny feeling when every emergency service gets called because you're too afraid to bungee jump. And it's a strange feeling when you feel embarrassed and ashamed. But at the same time, your brain's going, there's a lot of people on this platform. How much weight can this platform hold? Why are all these people here? maybe kind of start doing this thing. Like, what if it falls? What if everyone falls off? But I'm the only one who's got the rope, and I live and I have to watch all these people fall to their death. Every step on the platform. Every little step. I just saw more and more bodies falling to their death. Sir, just let go of the bars. We'll take you. It'll be fine. You're safe. And I wasn't scared for me anymore. I was scared for all of them. I had a moment, an epiphany. I had to save these people's lives. It was up to me. They were here because of me, so if I just jumped, then none of this would have been a problem. But I now had the solution. I could be a superhero. I could jump. Yeah. That's how I felt. I said, no! Stop! Wait! I'm going to jump! Which is a weird thing to say to emergency services. When it's a good thing. You know, because normally they would go, no, please don't jump. And this time they were like, yes. I am resolved. I didn't have to jump. I could just leave. 40 minutes later, I was far enough from the edge, and the clapping and the cheers from everyone. I was a hero. How are we doing on time?
Just a sec.
No worries. Just a quick, brief pause because I want to make sure things are going all right.
So,
Does anyone have the time? Six
Yeah.
minutes?
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Fine.
Four now. I worked as a security guard, not a police officer. And finally, I made the switch to firefighter. The police tend to get a bad rap, you know? They, especially nowadays, there's a lot of pressure on policing. And honestly, I saw some stuff there should be. So I made the move to become a firefighter because you're still saving people, and people love firefighters. The calendars are proof enough. It was probably the best decision of my life. I saw some strange things. I remember being a security guard at this hotel, and this whole weird thing with wedding, quinceanera. I remember having to escort several belligerently drunk men out of a 15-year-old's party. That was actually the moment that made me want to become a police officer. It felt right to take those people away from that place. They didn't belong. They were disruptive. And I felt a bit like a hero. And when I was a police officer, for a while I had that same feeling, walking the beat, meeting with people in the community, helping out. But the things that the law expects you to do, let's just say I had a moment where I had to question whether I was the hero I thought I was, or if I was the villain. Which is a lot for a 27-year-old. So, after that I became a firefighter. And it's been amazing. Like I said, people love firefighters. Your house is on fire, who do you call? The fire burns your whole house to the ground. Everything is lost. You're still thanked. No one says, oh no, the firefighters, oh, so bad. We should stop funding firefighters. If anything, they'd fund more firefighters. We need more firefighters, more calendars. But I was called out to this one job. I'm just gonna take 2 seconds here and I'm gonna tell you about. So, we have a lot of tourists who come in. We have a lot of tourist attractions, especially in the summer. And near the suspension bridge, they have bungee jumping. You wouldn't believe it. There was this young man visiting from a different country. And he was so terrified of jumping off of the platform. You could literally see on the bars where he was ripping the indents of his fingers, bent steel with his hands. You know that histrionic strength? Histrionic strength? I can never say it, it's very difficult to say. Histrionic strength, where like, you know, a child is trapped under a car and a mother can like lift the car up. Like we're always like capable of such great heroic deeds, of feats of strength, and the only thing keeping us back is our brains and our bodies, self-preservation. He had done that to the steel. He had gripped it so hard. They had to replace it. 7 hours and 40 minutes. He was up there. Until finally, he found the courage to back up. And I think that is such a good metaphor for life. You know, sometimes we are too afraid to take the big jump. You know? And sometimes maybe instead of being the hero we want to be by leaping into danger, maybe we just need to take a step back. Allow the real heroes to do their work. Maybe replace some steel bars.